What was the score in the softball?
They were down 2-0.
Oh, tight game. Okay, it's 6, no, wait. Is it 6 o'clock? Okay, oh, yep, 6 o'clock now, this one says. All right, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. We have Winnie, Brendan, Ryan, Missy, Sarah, and Mary Ellen here at the table, along with myself. And Don and Tim will probably be late if they come at all because testing's taking place or something and the games are starting a little later or something today.
Do we have anybody on there?
Yeah, is there anybody from Park and Rec on? No, who's missing the Park and Rec? No, we're just doing Park and Rec attendance now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, so I think we got everybody here except for
Don and Tim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don and Tim, yeah. Okay. All right, so previous meeting minutes, I looked at them, they look fine. Anybody have any comment on them? Without any comment, would somebody like to make a motion to approve the 4/4/24 meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the 4/4/24.
Okay. Yeah, second?
I'll second.
Okay, any more discussion? No? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? No. Abstained? No. Okay. All right, we go to the next one. The director's report, and Don tells me that, Winnie, you have that report? So, it's your show. It's your show.
Okay. All right. So Parks and Rec programs. Park and Rec registration is required for all Parks and Rec programs. All details are listed on Rec Desk and are advertised on our Parks and Rec website, Facebook, and Instagram. We have Zumba toning. The spring sessions are ongoing and held on Tuesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. April 16th to May 28th at the Center School Gym. The program fee is $50. Drop-in fee is $10. There are currently 7 participants registered. Adult basketball open gym sessions are ongoing and held at the Lime Old Lyme High School Gym on Wednesdays from 6 to 9 p.m. and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. through June 16th. No fee for Lime Old Lyme residents. Non-resident fee is $40. Drop-in fee is $5. To date, there are 35 participants registered. There may be alternative dates and times based on the high school schedules. Women's basketball open gym sessions are ongoing and held at the Lime Old Lyme High School Gym on Tuesdays. They're actually changed to Mondays now from 7 to 8:30 through June 3rd. No fee for Lime Old Lyme residents. Non-resident fee is $25. To date, there are 19 participants registered. There may be alternative dates and times based on the high school schedules. Adult softball. This program runs on Sundays, April 14th to June 9th at Townwoods Park from 4 to 7. No fee for Lime Old Lyme residents. Non-resident fee is $25. 4 teams have been formed from the 51 registered participants. 2 games are scheduled each Sunday. Summer day camp. The camp is scheduled to run June 24th through August 2nd and will be held at the high school Monday through Friday, 9 to 2. Fees are $300 per child and $150 for each additional child in that family. The camp is open to Lime Old Lyme residents aged 5 years old, entering kindergarten in the fall, through 12 years old. Registration is closed and currently capped at 303 people. Participants.
Amazing. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Well, Don was getting a few more assistants, right? For
we
that.
have.
You got a few more than
we have hired
you usually
more.
have. Yeah,
We will be hiring.
Yeah, good.
Counselors. Aftercare program. This program is scheduled to run June 24th through August 2nd and will be held at the high school Monday through Friday, 2 to 4. The fee is $240 per child. Registration is closed and currently capped at 66. Again, we will be hiring more counselors. This camp, CAS soccer camps. This camp is scheduled to run August 5th through 9th at Townwoods Park. Registration is done through CAS Soccer Camp website. The camp is open for players aged 3 to 14. 3 to 14 runs from 9 to 10 is $95. Age 4 to 6 runs 10:30 till noon and is $110. Age 6 to 14 runs 9 to noon and is $145. Basketball camps for the summer. We are currently undecided about these camps. District 18 construction projects are affecting gym space and availability. Updates will be provided. Pickleball. We are currently offering open play pickleball court times from 10 to 12 on a daily basis at Cross Lane Courts. On April 13th, we hosted 2 clinics. The beginner clinic was 9 to 10:30, and the advanced clinic was 10:45 to 12:15. We're also holding another one this weekend, and they're all full. The senior center has reserved the courts on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12:30 to 3 for their program, and theirs are full as well. Summer staff.
Can I ask a question? Why isn't there more open time when there's, seems to me that there's, I know you have the senior center there and this and that. And
so,
why
people
isn't
can
it
go
open?
play whenever they want.
Yeah.
We were going to do the open time from 10 to 12 and then 6 to 8, but then we talked about it and it would interfere with softball too much. The parking would be in.
I know softball, but in the mornings, why can't people go earlier in the morning?
They can. I think open play is like when there's people that, like if I was by myself, you can go and there's other people there to play
You can
with.
go whenever they
It's open for anyone to go at any time.
Okay, yeah, that was my one question.
Open play is like a program that.
It's like all the pickleballers get together.
If a single, you don't feel bad, you'll have people to play with.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
Games.
Was that?
We used to call it pickup games.
Yeah.
Go and show up and somebody else.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right, the clinic, summer staff. Summer staff has been selected. The hiring process will be completed soon. Pre-season meetings will be held with all staff in preparation of the upcoming season. Updates will be provided. Facilities, Townwoods Park, Haynes Park, and Cross Lane Park facilities are open and in use on a daily basis by the Connecticut River Lacrosse Club, the Lyme Oldline Soccer Club, Lyme Oldline Little League, District 18 Rowers, and the Old Lyme Rowing Association. White Sands Beach facility will be open later in May, weather dependent. Updates will be provided. New signs are being installed at the Cross Lane Courts. The signs will be placed at the basketball courts and the entrances to the tennis and pickleball courts. The sign details the acceptable, non-acceptable use of the court area. And I have I don't know if you want to see it. This is basically, this is what it says.
Can we just
you want me to read
add that
it?
to the minutes, like whatever this new sign is?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it?
Oh, yeah, read
Okay.
it, please, yeah. And we'll
So
just add it.
please, not allowed at Cross Lane Park basketball, tennis, and pickleball courts, skateboards, inline skating, floor hockey, bicycles, scooters or mopeds, glass bottles, smoking, vaping products, alcohol, littering. Thank you for your cooperation, Old Lyme Parks and Recreation.
Sounds good. Because
You want a
we'll
copy?
add that to,
Let's take a picture. Well, does Don have that on it? Because he usually sends me the report. Does he have that on it?
Oh, okay.
just in case anybody can think of something else they might want to add. But when is this sign going to be made? Because,
It's made and they were either installed today or tomorrow.
oh, okay.
Yep. 3 previously damaged windows at Townwoods Park building have been replaced. The motor for the grill fan at Cross Lane Building concession stand was not properly working and has been replaced.
Oh, yay.
Yay! Yeah. I think we still need to upgrade the fire extinguisher though.
That was an opening day nightmare.
I bet. Yeah. It must have
What
gotten
happened,
pretty
a little
slick.
smoke?
No, it just didn't work, and they didn't really check it until right before, the morning of opening day, and it was like all set for concessions and whatever, and then it didn't work, so there was a cry for somebody to help fix it, and
There must have been an electrician in that crowd.
there wasn't anybody that stepped up, but
Yeah, okay. All right.
That's it.
Oh, okay. Any questions for Winnie or about, no, sounds good. It
you
sounds,
said the sign is made, sorry,
Yes.
the sign's made.
Yep, and it either went up this afternoon or it's going up tomorrow.
oh, great. Yeah, that sounds real good. Anybody want to comment or? No, my only comment is it's unbelievable how many programs and how much coordination both you and Don are doing, and it's appreciated.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, it's getting more and more busy.
Yep.
So, besides the fact the weather got nice and it gets busy. But we have more things going on, and you're doing a great job, you guys. Okay, old business, the security cameras and alarm, connection to the fire department, all these things, we've been requesting these things for over 4 years now, about 4 years, and we almost had it 4 years ago, but then they wanted to go to this cloud system. But now I understand that they're actually talking about putting security cameras here at Town Hall, and I think may have something to do with, at the congressional sessions in Connecticut, something I think was being advanced so that all places with voter drop-off things have to have cameras pointed at them because of the corruption that places like, oh, maybe you can comment on this, Martha, about security cameras. I know it was in session in Connecticut that they said that, I was in some committee, I don't know if I got out of the committee, that all towns, municipalities with voter boxes out front have to have a camera on them. Is that why we're going to get a camera here maybe this summer before the election?
We're going to get one on the voter box, definitely, and we're going to get cameras at the police station because they're getting a new front door, and then our front door, we're getting a new front doors here too. But of course, they have to be historically correct, so those are pricey. And they have to be wired for the security and everything ahead of time. So those are going to go in after July 1st, everything, and then we'll get the cameras wired up once the doors are in. So everything will be positioned correct.
So now is this going to be compatible with the cloud system?
Yes, and there's a camera. We want to get it up and running on a remote spot, which is the police station.
Right.
Here, and get it going, and then they'll buy more cameras as we need them.
So we may be able then to put cameras at Haynes Park, hopefully.
We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully. But anyway, because we also need the alarm for the fire department and all that.
I just want you to understand something, and because the Board of Finance has discussed this. And so we have to weigh out the cost, because it's the cost of the camera. It's not like that, it's the cost of running the camera every month, which is going to be about $120.
Is that for every spot, or could the town just get one?
Like every camera lot. It's expensive.
Well, I know it was going to be a couple of years ago, $100 or something a month through.
It's a little bit more now. So then it's like, okay, what's your potential loss in the park? Or you have to weigh your losses versus the cost of buying the cameras, running the cameras. We also have to not just run them and get charged for the running. Now they're also on our CTS console, so there's another function that CTS console is doing for us. So running it is through Comcast or whatever. So Board of Finance is like camera, and then we, of course, we're paying insurance on everything in the park. So if it gets damaged, our insurance pays for a replacement. So what is the benefit, cost benefit, except for the possibility that we might catch one or two kids that might do something. So, and if there are two kids, Missy, as you know, they'll go to juvenile review board, and they'll put in some community time, and they'll be fine, but then 2 years later, somebody else will try something else.
Well, I'm encouraged to hear that these cameras are being installed somewhere.
So we're getting it, so we'll do the cost analysis when we get it, but let's see what they cost all of this.
Yeah.
By the way, Mr. McKeever, nice job.
And I hope they're getting, I hope they're getting the best cameras they can get now, because 3-4 years from now, there probably won't be the best cameras. Is that the idea?
I think they're called a Verkada camera, and also Homeland Security told us never to buy any cameras that are made in China, so these are not made in China, because some of these cameras in China, believe it or not, they can tap into your security system.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Check your cameras at home.
Oof, that's,
My wife puts a little piece of black tape on the camera on her phone, except when she wants to use it, because everybody's being recorded.
I don't.
Potentially.
Record me. I'm not-
Everybody knows where you are. Anybody could find you. That's for sure. That's why I don't have a camera, phone. You can't find me
Some risky business.
unless I'm with my wife. Okay, so that's the update on the security cameras. Survey, Sarah, did we get the survey from BSC?
Yeah, not yet. As I updated the last meeting, I agreed to do the survey pro bono. I owe them some inputs, and due to competing things on my time, I haven't been able to compile in a detailed way what precisely I want to communicate to them, because I need some inputs from this group, quite frankly, as well as the formerly or constituted subcommittee. So I did reach out to Greg Hack, and I own that I haven't been able to kind of get everyone together.
Okay.
So I hope to, not next week if I'm traveling again, the following week,
Okay.
compile all that and send it over to them.
Oh, that'd be
But,
great, yeah.
Yeah. I think that my comments with respect to the survey will dovetail with when we get to the issue, so I can wait.
Okay.
And make some comments with respect to that issue.
Yeah, okay.
So the comments you're sending to
BSC. Yeah, so what they asked for was a bubble plan, and you've given me some inputs as to what is the latest plan, and the latest plan doesn't have all of the things that are currently built there, so I worked with the town to get the dimensions of the bathhouse, but they can't seem to tell me where it was exactly built dimensionally, which just seemed odd, so that was something I was hoping to come in and take a closer look, in order to basically give BSC as much information that with as much fidelity as possible, because they're doing this as a pro bono effort. But I might just have to not be as type A about it and just hope that they can kind of just
I know they,
together?
somewhere they have,
To move it
with
forward?
the bathhouse, because Phil Parchik said they have all the
They have
dimensions
the
of it.
dimensions,
And they
but I
have
would
where
like
it
to have a
is, and the
plan of where
retaining
it is.
wall, and all this stuff. Somebody's
I
supposed
wasn't able
to
to
have.
get it from facilities, so if
Yeah.
you're able to
Well-
ask for the correct thing and get that to me.
Eric Olson didn't have it?
No, he sent me some things, he's been really helpful, but it wasn't like, where is the bathhouse as it's built today in relation to the things around it?
I would have our new facilities guy call Phil, because Phil, all that's been submitted somewhere here.
Yeah, there's a
And
number of
if they can't find it, have him call Phil, because we have all that information.
Well, left everything for him.
I mean, it's all there somewhere.
Well, he's gone through everything, so it could be that it's in building. Maybe Kim Rose has it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know we have all that info.
Submit it to zoning or planning when
Of course.
Okay, so somebody else would.
Yeah, of course.
I'll ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'll forward you what was sent to me, and if I'm just missing it, I am not like a graph person, I will be very candid.
And
So
we-
it is possible that I'm just not seeing it, because I kept asking, like, is this where it's currently built? And he's like, I don't have the as-built.
Okay.
So, all that
Okay.
being said, totally me,
Yeah,
a
it's-
delay, but
And if he can't find it, maybe Phil could help him track it down. That's all I'm saying,
Okay.
because I know all that's available. And also, I know it's available because it was approved by Inland Wetlands, the position of the pavilion and the dimensions on that.
Yes.
It's the 12 by 22 pavilion, but it's a 14 by 24-foot slab they're putting down for it. Okay?
Yeah.
But then that's all there too. And in fact, I think, I know Kim Groves has it. She seems to be the best contact on a lot of this stuff.
I'll put her in contact with you, Sarah.
Thank you.
You
Yeah.
go work tomorrow and I'll put.
Yeah, she seems to know where a lot of this stuff is.
Okay, and do we want them to put things like kayak rack, some of the things that were in the report? I don't really know what the full disposition was on the recommendations that were made. So like kayak rack, as an example.
Kayak rack has not been approved by this commission, so the kayak rack, I would not put anything that's not there on this report. We could always add it later,
Okay.
okay?
I will do my best to draw where I think the sand and grass should go.
Okay.
You trust you trust me. Great.
Okay, all right, so thanks, Sarah, and I know it's important, especially since not only you work, but you also have a family, so we appreciate all the efforts you do on this. Okay, the approved pavilion site and at the current swing site, I should say, Sarah, did you have a chance to look at the stamped concrete in the field house? Because I went to look at it, it's 15 years old or something, it still looks really good, and it looks like pavers. That's stamped concrete, they make it look like pavers for the base of the pavilion. And I mentioned the last time that if anybody wants to take a look at what stamped concrete looks like, it's much nicer than just concrete, it looks like pavers. And they put a little coating over it, so aesthetically, it's a lot nicer than just concrete. So if anybody wants to see what stamped concrete looks like after 15 years or so, Townwood is going to be 20 years, go to the field house. It's open daily, and just take a look at the floor in there, and it looks pretty good after 15 years or so. Looks real good, I should say. Okay, and the ADA paths, last meeting we talked about reinforced turf, and is there Martha says there's all new ADA things. What, is reinforced turf still available? I mean, can you use it? Do you have to use a special gauge of the reinforced turf?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I can look into it.
Yeah, would you look into it? Because in the fall, we want to put this thing in, okay?
For the path.
A path, it's 30 feet or so from the, what did we say, Sarah? It was like 30 feet or so to where the swing set is, where we plan to put the pavilion, and it's something like 50 feet to the playscape. So we can just do a 3-foot wide path directly to each of these sites.
But not paved.
No, not paved. No, if we can do the reinforced turf, that looks the nicest by far.
You can do, maybe you could do another, what would be great is if you could do a now. Then,
So there was talk, so did you get an email from Amy Bonatti about a MobiMat Okay. There was talk at our last ADA meeting about a MobiMat going in.
Is that like the mats to the water?
It's the mat that's at White Sands.
Yes.
About.
go over any ground surface.
It can,
Yeah, I know those mats, yeah.
Yeah, so putting one in at the Haynes Park.
So you get one that's 3 feet wide just to go, and then, but then would you have to unroll it? You don't have, because we want people to be able to go out there.
You would leave it, you would do it for the season probably and take it in just like they do at.
Well, I don't know, you may
White
want to check your ADA rules, because I noticed that, well, even off-season, people go down and sit on the picnic tables down there and have lunch and everything else, and so.
You can leave it year-round, but it's great because it's,
Well,
pervious. The right word, pervious?
Yep.
well, so is reinforced turf.
Isn't reinforced turf like
Yeah,
grass?
right, yeah, it's
With
little squares kinda, and we would do this in the fall when the grass grows the best. It works very well, and some places are very successful at making grass actually grow through it, and so you don't even know it's really there. So, but I believe it fulfills ADA requirements.
Yeah. I'm not sure, but I will.
Okay, well, can we get a little more info on that, okay? And tables. I asked everyone at the last meeting to look at tables, and I've sat at a table like this. It kind of looks like this. They're hexagon tables, they're round. You could sit 6 to 8 people around one table. The other table would have the opening for a wheelchair, and even those, you could sit 6 people around one of those. And I pointed out at the last meeting, I thought the advantage of something like that is that people, say a mother or father or whatever, can sit kind of in the middle, and if you have a kid swimming in the lake and also at the playground, playscape, keep an eye on both, rather than sitting just at...
Those tables are nice.
I sat at one, they're really nice. I mean, and you can have all different types of top surfaces to it. They're really, you have metal, like, so they're really secure. And you can have recycled plastic that almost looks like wood. You can have wood. I don't think we want wood because you have to maintain it. There are all different companies that make this, but basically you're talking for the ADA table between $1,000 and $1,500. And if the other one was just a regular table, it'd be a few $100s less. ADA, automatic, $400 or $500 more than a regular table. Could everybody for the next meeting kind of take a look? I can show you this, and you can put down these sites. I have 3 different sites that sell them, and here.
One thing I forgot to see was I looked at the tables. I mean, I have no preference. I think we should probably not have wood, but...
Huh?
I think we should not have wood, personally.
Oh, yeah, definitely not gonna have
What I had to
wood.
look up was how heavy these things are.
Yeah, you have metal, they actually make them out, down in Florida, they have concrete ones at really nice parks that don't go anywhere, and they're really nice, but they cost $4,000 or $5,000 a table. Here, just pass these around. If you wanna look at the sites, I got a few sites there. There are more sites than that show that, and just as a reminder, the pavilion would look something like this, and if you had a grayish, like at Townwoods Park, stamped concrete as the base, because you don't need a pervious base because there's going to be a cover over that area, so there's no reason for a pervious base. But you have a couple of these tables in there, and I think it would look real nice.
But we decided we only needed one handicap.
Yeah. Missy got that. We only need one handicap, so that one would be right next to where the path meets the base.
Right, okay.
And so that you could roll the person right in to that spot. I don't know, do you want to take a look at this and just get rid of it? This is from a long time ago. Okay. Playscape at the current playground site. I know Don at the last meeting said he contacted, what's the guy's name again?
Dave Catalano.
Dave Catalano, yeah, I met him, yeah. And that order's been put in, hopefully we do that at some point soon.
He told me it wasn't placed. I think we got word of the lead time. I thought Don said the order wasn't placed.
No, he wasn't placed last time, but we gave him the go-ahead, because that was been approved a long time ago.
Right, okay. I'll follow up with that.
Yeah, because Park and Rec approved that a long time ago, and,
Anything. Okay, about placing it?
yeah, no.
About placing it? About
No.
either? Very good.
He told me he was going to contact Dave about that.
Yeah, we've been in touch. Dave's aware that we're...
Okay, well, so, hopefully we get that in during the summer or the fall.
So so we can get the ball rolling on these tables.
Yes.
You're wanting us to do you just want us to pick one?
Let's just pick one now.
Let's just pick one and get the table.
Would be my opinion, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Don or Tim or Matt will care.
No, I mean, look at that, that looks really nice, that table.
I love it.
Yeah.
Fit more.
Yeah, this is and it happens to be the best, yeah, and you could fit more than a round table, and you can have, I don't know if that's surface, that's the recycled
That's a
plastic.
reset, like the,
Yeah, and you get different
Recycled
colors,
plastic.
and,
I feel like the only negative about Trex in general for a table is that it gets really hot, but this is under.
But this is
perfect.
shaded.
Yeah.
This is
That's what I'm
shaded.
saying, that's why I think we should.
yeah, so, Yeah.
There's a government web, Anita has government pricing on that kind of stuff, so we get municipal pricing.
Oh, yeah, I know, plus there's no tax either, which is beautiful thing too. So, we may get it a little cheaper than the number you see there, but, you'll want me to look more about that, and I'll get more information about that one?
Government pricing on any site, or is there a specific place?
These come in different sizes too, I don't see the sizes.
They basically come, it all depends, the size, but I looked at all the sizes, they all fit on the slab and in the pavilion, no problem. And so I think Park and Rec consensus, we get one ADA table, which we agreed on last time, and one normal one. And so the normal one would sit 8 people around, and the ADA, 6 people along with a wheelchair.
So let's look into how do we find out about the government pricing?
I
Is
can
that,
find out, could you send me the links to those, so she can go on and do the search to see if she can get it cheaper for you.
Okay, yeah, okay,
Try to save as much money as possible.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay, all right, well, like I said, they're from about, the ADA one's about 1,000 to 1,500 for.
Might be less with the government price.
Yeah, if we get a government or it could be more with the government involved.
But we're gonna find out, that's,
That's what's happening.
Well, I was just trying to make a
So
joke.
you're gonna send a link to Martha or?
Yeah, send me the link and I'll get it.
Okay, I'll send a link to Martha, and then you guys can get going on that. Personally, I think this one right here, the coloring, I think, of something like that looks very nice. Black with they call it either cedar or some sort of other wood surface, and I think that's the way to go with the recycled plastic. It's maintenance free, and I guess people could carve initials into plastic, which everybody does to wood all the time. Okay, good. So we'll get going on the tables. All right, the playscape. We'll speak to Don, but apparently that will be installed sometime this, hopefully later in the summer or the fall. The fall's a good time because the summer is a little busy down there, and we don't want to. Hello, dog. That we won't interfere as much with activities down there in the fall. Okay, the Noose's consultant, a guy that came over here, Zach Smith, part of the U.S. Department of Agriculture or affiliated somehow with that. Sarah did a lot of work on that, and we got the estimate of $5,000 approximately for 4 to 8 visits. $1,325 is the addling portion. As a private citizen, after watching the news and the article that appeared in the Day paper on, what day did I send that? Oh, there goes the day. Oh, yeah, here. I sent an email out to everybody on April 19th, being quite concerned about the reaction in Bristol, Connecticut to this, that we knew that there's going to be people that are not going to agree with euthanizing adults or addling eggs. I asked Martha and I spoke to her about speaking to Mr. Lam up in Lyme. Martha, did you have a chance to do that?
I haven't talked to him, but I've emailed back and emailed him. We have to connect on a couple of things.
Yeah.
One senior center's taking up just a little bit of space right now.
Yeah.
I'll get to him on this.
Yeah, because.
He's calling me tomorrow.
Huh?
He'll call me.
Oh, yeah, I'm not, yeah.
Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
But doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be done immediately, just as long as we have buy-in of both towns, because the lake is jointly owned by the 2 towns, even though the Rogers Lake Authority oversees it. And also Town Woods Park, 1/4 of that park is basically Lyme's ownership. So to do something like that, we have to make sure they're involved. And basically, I think this is more, it's beyond Park and Rec saying, giving a go-ahead to do this. I think both towns have to be involved, and as Martha said, I think we have to do our best to educate the people in town as...
Both towns would need to be involved at Hanks Park, even though the lake,
No,
that's just a,
yeah, but if you're going into the
But
lake, you're going to those islands,
the islands,
and the islands
yeah.
are privately
but
owned,
the park
and it's...
itself is really under our jurisdiction.
Right, the park itself, but there are no nests at the park.
Yes, but the islands are privately owned, as you said.
Yeah.
And in talking to the Rogers Lake Authority representatives who came to the site walk that we had shortly after the April meeting,
Yes,
they were very interested, and they took the initiative to reach out to those property owners. Those are private owners that sign a consent form if they're going to authorize.
did they get one from everybody?
action.
Did they get one from
I
everybody?
don't know yet, but all I'm saying is
Yeah.
that I just want to pressure test a little bit the notion that this is now a town issue that Martha and Lyme have to have jurisdiction over, as opposed to the fact that it's a park issue. And I'm all for getting community consensus, but I also think to a degree elected officials and volunteers are given authority to take decisions in the best interest of the public, and after a due notice to the public on an issue. We don't necessarily have a survey about what people think is in the best interest. I'm open to doing that, but I just want to play a little bit red tape on it, because I think that for years we have known this is an issue, and just because one article is published bringing attention to what is completely understandable, which is public sentiment and hard feelings about what is done with geese, I think that can be expected, but that's in the realm of, mindset. I just think that having a pause and entirely putting this on the back burner is a mistake. I think we have momentum. We have the federal government on our side in terms of recognizing the overpopulation of this species, and it's a public health issue. And so I don't know necessarily that we need to put it on the back burner by saying that we need to do all of these things to get the community consensus towards this decision. That's just my personal view.
I happen to
others
strongly
chime in on
disagree
their
with
views.
that.
I could be the minority,
Sarah.
but I just want to have a discussion about it before we stop.
Yeah, no, first of all, we have no money to do it for this year. Hopefully,
No, that's not accurate, though. We were advised that we could take the decision to do a special appropriation, and for $5,000, which is well below the $20,000 threshold, we could get that appropriation. And in fact, we have personal donors who would give that money today. So I don't think that's a barrier.
No, the money is not the issue. I think the reaction of the residents is, huh?
I know we are both, that process.
It is, and for the awareness of the group, egg addling is happening today, currently. Permit by Rogers Lake Authority, because you can go online and get a permit, and they have the authority. They're going and addling eggs today. So just for everyone's awareness, that is currently happening. There have not been many goslings sighted. I don't know if it's because of effectiveness or where we are in the breeding season. But yes, so the egg addling is now because it's breeding season. The potential lethal Roundup, as they say, it's not actually Roundup unless there's caroling used, but the euthanization of the geese, that happens in the second phase in June, when the molting season happens. And I think it's hard, right? It's a hard topic. It's a hard issue. But when you have science on your side to say that maybe this is the approach to take, to have a demonstrable impact, to make the sites cleaner in town at these 3 parks, and let me just add, those $5,000 was for 3 parks, for all 3 to do this and try this. So,
I'm just going to go ahead and say I completely support Sarah. I totally agree with this. I think this is paralysis by analysis in some cases. And yeah, it's going to be a hard conversation. There's going to be opponents to it for sure. But I'm sick and tired of having soccer teams sliding around in crap. It's disgusting.
And I think everybody should also realize, even the guy, Zach Smith, said, this is not a thing you just do over 1 year and get a result. It's because the geese are 16 years old or something on average, and 13 years they reproduce. And I found a new one right down the street from us. There's a little stream, and there's geese at some guy, private property right off Route 1. So that the geese are gonna continue to come here. There's no doubt they've established residency not only around here, but in this state. So even if we do this, it may help, and it probably will help, but it's not going to be solved for a long time.
Unless it's maintained.
Huh?
Unless it's maintained and becomes
Part of like the
part of life.
yearly maintenance on the park.
But now, is this something that we approve as a commission, and then it's handed off to the selectmen for approval? How does it work?
I asked Martha just to see if we could get in line.
But it's a big deal, it's important.
I think this has to be a joint decision by the towns and this group. We're providing the town, just as we have with what it's gonna cost to dredge the lake, if we ever wanna do that, we get some grants or whatever, we're providing the information. But if the towns don't buy into this, the leadership of the towns, I don't think we can just do this on our own.
I mean, I don't know what.
That's my opinion.
I agree, with Brian. The health issue, I think it's disgusting. I would never go barefoot in either place. I think people in town, people that it can work. It's not sort of
Well, I agree, we have to do something, but I just wanna know that we're.
Yeah, but we tried everything else.
As a unit, that we're, that the selectmen and us are as a unit.
I think that if Sarah could call, you could call in. Talk about it. But to educate Jim and Jude, to see what they say.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, we have to get approval.
I can talk to David Long tomorrow and get his take on it, and then I can get back to you via email and see what.
I think that's the best approach to take at this point. If you miss out on one addling season and go ahead with the roundup, you'll have an effect, of course. And
Yeah, they filed a permit. There's certain.
are they finding?
I'm not sure. Yeah, they have to log it and document, submit that as part of their permit.
So are they just doing this on their own?
Yes, it's a couple of volunteers.
Wonderful.
So they're just doing it to the islands that they've got permission on
Yes.
to go on?
That's standing.
And how many of those islands have they gotten permission
I'm
on?
not sure. I can reach out to Dick.
I think one's not owned by anybody, from what I heard,
That
but
may
the
be
other
where
ones
they're
are,
starting.
5 out of the 6 or 4 out of the 5 or whatever.
But the thing is, that is also private property, right? So
Yeah.
that's something they can do. That's what I just want, like, the state was involved. What do we have to do if it's public property? What are the rules for us?
Yeah.
Was that being heard?
No, I mean, who has to give the okay? Because I already got attacked at my office from a woman, like, I'm a murderer, an animal murderer. And I was like,
Yes.
I was so upset. How could, even addling eggs, she's like, but those are babies, you're killing babies. And my response was, so you must be a vegetarian. No. Well, how do you think that gets from your, animals are used to eat? It was like, I'm like, I do not want that in a big.
Well, I agree with that also, and
I think we have to be very transparent with what we're going to do.
I almost replied to your email and figured I'd just wait and talk about it tonight. I don't want to get attacked by the community for supporting this. I think there's good momentum for it, and I think something has to get done by it. But I totally agree that there needs to be some education component to it, or some forum where this is just dealt with publicly. Because that shouldn't happen to anybody.
Oh, no, it's scared. I was like, oh, no, this is like the lacrosse.
That's what's going to happen. And in fact, as I spoke to Martha, I think the reaction's going to be even stronger here in Old Lyme and Bristol, Connecticut.
But I do think it'll be a minority group. I think most people that want to use the lake are sick and tired.
I mean, anybody that has a child.
Anybody has a
that goes
kid.
to any park in this community understands.
Yeah.
Would understand.
It'll
It'll be that
100%
few
be a
that-
very vocal minority.
Hmm?
It'll be a very vocal minority, for sure.
That's what I think.
Sarah, I'm sorry, Marilyn. Go.
No, but I think anything we do is going to be very transparent. It's not like we're up there in our burger outfits stealing animals. I mean, I think everyone is going to be aware of the fact that we're trying to solve a problem, and there aren't a whole lot of solutions.
It's something everyone complains about, and it's been impossible to actually do anything about. I think Don's been trying for a long time, talking about the geese.
I could tell.
We're talking about the pavilion. No.
How do they euthanize them?
Yeah, so they go out early in the morning. They have corrals. So corrals are basically like a gate. They walk. The animals cannot fly in the molting season. They walk them through a gate. They take them into their vans and they euthanize them on site with CO2 gas.
Okay. I mean,
And then they donate the meat to local food shelters, as long as there hasn't been avian flu.
yeah.
Which there hasn't been lately.
I mean, and I don't know if this is Sarah's point, but as I interpret it, I mean, Bob, I think you make a point. There's no doubt. And I saw your email and I agreed with it. However, what more do we need to do other than put it on the agenda and post it? It's public knowledge. So if we put it on, let's say for the next hearing, the next meeting, I don't know what more notice we have to give to the public other than that. And I think that because the parks are under our jurisdiction, and I would even argue that we don't need Lime, to the extent that certainly for Haynes Park and for Cross Lane, stronger argument for Town Woods, but Haynes Park and Cross Lane, Lime has no jurisdiction over those. The lake they do,
Right.
but not the parks. And to Ryan's point, I mean, if you go down to a Little League baseball game, you cannot walk down there without being, submerged in geese. And it's a legitimate problem. Now, having said that, as much as I would like the selectmen to take that over, because I don't want the blowback either, I think it's our jurisdiction. Even if the Board of Selectmen disagree with us, I still think it's our
To
jurisdiction.
make a recommendation that this is a way to take care of the geese, I think that we can do that. But to make the final decision, I think the towns have to be involved.
Lime doesn't have to be involved in the park. Haynes Park.
No, for Haynes
It
Park.
would at Townwoods Park, though.
Yeah, at Townwoods Park, they'd have to be involved, yes.
I'll see Dave, I said I went to Dave in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
What is the rules for us and our own park, Old Elm Park? What is the standard that we have to go by?
Well, 20-8, we do have the jurisdiction, but the selectmen could always disagree with something that,
True.
for the management, control, development, and all expenditures for the parks. That's our purview. But if the selectmen come out and say, no, we don't want to
That's what
have
I want.
this or that,
I want all that to be assured before we start anything.
the selectmen have to go along with it.
I agree. If you go to the park, putting in the pavilion,
Could you speak up a little bit more?
if you go to the expense of putting in a pavilion and putting in picnic tables, and then the grass is filled with goose poop, and a playground for children, and it's all goose poop, and there's geese there all the time, who's gonna use it?
Well, you're kind of preaching to the choir. I know that.
There are a lot of people who use it now.
yeah.
Start to think about it.
Martha,
We realize that. I just want to be sure
We
we're.
try to eradicate some of the geese.
and I'm asking, I don't know the answer. Let's say the board, I guess I would ask your opinion on it. Let's say we come to the conclusion as a board, Park and Rec, go forward with the goose mediation, whatever, take care of the geese. And the Board of Selectmen disagree. Can the Board of Selectmen overrule what it is that we've decided to do? Can you even do that?
Well, I think the first thing is, like you said, put it on the agenda, ask for public comment at a meeting, to see who comes, see what you get for, I mean, we'll be here, you can invite us to come to the meeting, because we're dealing with such a...
You mentioned you're gonna maybe have Sarah present something at your meeting, are you?
This is Sarah's second job, Haynes Park.
I can't be here Monday, I'm at West Point, but I will do it the next meeting, I'm happy to do it.
Sorry, 2 weeks later. I just
Then
think
someone
that you have a charge, it's written into your charge of what you're in charge of. John probably can recite it less than I can't at the moment, but
But I guess, I don't think, for me, I don't feel like I'm getting an answer to my question. What is the rule?
what's the rule?
That if this is, our commission decides to move ahead with this goose, whatever we're gonna call it, And then we do all this stuff, and then can the selectmen come forward and say, well, you know, we don't like it, we don't want this to happen now? We've had a lot of
No,
pushback or...
I think we're asking for selectmen's support on this.
Yeah, exactly. I want to...
Number one, I agree, so.
I mean, I would say that,
I can't answer for the other two. Well, right, at the moment, I haven't even consulted them, I don't even think they know this, so.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, they probably don't even know...
Well, they do know it now because I've been sending information to them. Okay, so they know about it. The other selectmen, I don't know how much they've,
Have they gotten back to you, either?
I got a couple thank yous, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the other two selectmen. For providing information to them.
I mean, Bob, I would argue that the selectmen cannot overrule us on this. That getting their support is great, or even if they're dissent, but I would say they don't have the jurisdiction over this area. We do. I agree. Having their support would be great. And I will say this on the record. I don't know how I'm going to vote on this. I'm an animal guy, so I don't know how I would go. But I think it's up to us, ultimately. I mean, don't you? I mean, or no?
I think it's a situation like this, if the leaders of the community, because I think that's the way Bristol did it, was leaders of the community were bringing this up.
I get it.
If they don't voice support for something like this, I think it puts us and them in bad situations, because you are going to have a group of people,
No matter how small.
but it'll be huge, because they're all going to come out.
Well, to that point, though, do you think it makes sense then, as opposed to just putting it on the agenda for whichever meeting we want to do, just putting it on the agenda, having some type of larger forum for it, so that there couldn't be the accusation that we tried to slide this under the rug somehow?
No, we can do that for our next meeting. We could invite the public to.
You have a right to do a special meeting, Bob, and you can do it sooner.
I mean, look, I agree with Ryan to the extent that it's just something that it's an inconvenient thing that is going to have to be dealt with, but I think it has to be dealt with by us. And if we have a special meeting, or it's just a normal meeting, and the public comes out and they dissuade members of this board, and then the vote is shot down, then so be it. Then the vote's shot down. That's how it works.
Well, Martha knows about that with the Tanama Hague thing the other night.
I like the idea of a special meeting.
That was just a regular meeting or a special meeting?
There was a special meeting because we only have 2 a month. There was a special meeting on that topic.
I mean,
if you want to have if everybody wants to have a special meeting on
I don't
that.
know if that's what I want. What I'm saying.
I'm just throwing out ideas. Now, we don't need the public's permission because we are in charge. It's our charge.
Right.
But we don't want you getting attacked in your office either.
No,
Yeah.
but I think I think we have to be very transparent.
I agree.
You know,
Let people say their piece. Like
and
Brendan said, if they persuade us to change minds or whatever, then so be it. That's the process.
I think it's a protection of all of us too, because I don't want to be called an animal killer and a baby bird killer and a...
Oh, and I think when you look at it, it's a bigger problem than just a couple areas in this town. But they're everywhere.
Well, that's fair too, but we don't have jurisdiction.
And they're gonna fly to the water, and that's
all fair.
Yeah, and
we can only control what we have jurisdiction.
Yeah, we can help to mitigate it, but this is not gonna solve it around here. There's just too many places. Don, you have geese at your place. There's geese everywhere around here.
They're working.
First time I've seen geese right down the street from me, and they obviously have some nest in a creek or something back there because they're hanging around that area.
Sure. I mean, they're up at the school. They're
everywhere.
Around, for sure.
They're everywhere.
There's a whole bunch of little...
Or could you take a policy that we somehow clean the parks better? I'm sure somebody will say, well, why don't you just clean the parks better? And that's why we're hoping to get the sand machine so we can go down and clean the sand at Haynes Park every once in a while.
Yeah, it's a good segue. Just 2 points I want to make. One on the cleaning, and also to your point, Martha. I do not think it's advisable to invest in the enhancements, like putting in the playground, doing the pavilion, until we solve the threshold issue. So no further money should be spent. If we do those things, though, if we think we should do that, then I think we need to have a fixed appropriation for cleaning on a daily basis, frankly, during the summer. Because that's the trade-off. If the minds are persuaded because it's too much of an animal rights issue and the blowback from the community is too strong, then it doesn't erase the problem. It means you have to find a different way. And I think we can do, obviously, non-lethal mitigation coupled with aggressive cleaning. And unless we do those things, then I would not be in favor of any further enhancements of the park.
Do you have any other ideas
Secondly-
of the non-lethal? We've tried almost everything over the years, besides cleaning. What would there be another non-lethal? We've tried everything else.
Barrier, I mean, I agree. The USDA looked us in the face and said, none of those things work.
Yeah, no.
So I don't, I mean, it's.
That's a problem.
I'm happy to put a fake coyote down there. It has some success on docks in Old Saybrook, but like,
Someone just take it.
I don't think it's gonna work. But the second point I just want to get
That's what
in,
the country
because
club
I
does.
also
Fake
believe the USDA has PR people, so we can ask them for what materials that they can use to educate the public. If we're going to do a special meeting or something, so that they can give us what materials they have, because they're invested in having to solve this issue too. It's an invasive species, quite frankly. So I can reach out to them tomorrow and try to get ahead on that material.
I think that would be good, because if,
Okay, thanks.
yeah, I think that would be good, because I think education has to be involved rather than everybody just come, we make a decision and everybody starts arguing about it. It'd be good to have people that have a lot of knowledge about how, especially how well does this work? Because remember you said something about Greenwich doing this, but this is within the same people that you have, that we met with. How well does it work? That's one of the things I want to know, like,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, how, you know, what, has it been done in communities, and how well does it work? Because if you're just gonna go out and do this, and people say, oh, yeah, we did it for 2 or 3 years, then we stopped, and it's the same problem, well, we're gonna keep on having to do this every year.
Where is that information gonna?
Probably.
From the.
There's a deer hunting season every
Yeah, which reminds me, Don, now that you're here, I, as part of the agenda, I was wondering if we could put in like $7,500, because we know it's gonna cost at least $5,000 for the budget for next year for goose mitigation.
I can put in anything you ask for.
Just so you know, the Get Greenwich actually has an entire, they call it the Resident Canada Goose Management System. Egg boiling, but they actually have a whole website on their, just Greenwich Keep, what they're doing to mitigate it. So it's under their emergency.
What is, and it's just the Greenwich Town website?
Greenwich, it's under the Greenwich Government Town website, it's under their land use, environmental affairs, conservation, fish and wildlife conservation, it's all Greenwich, Connecticut. And it has every town, especially for town property, they have a three-pronged approach with this.
The person who managed that program is now in the line, and I reached out to her for a meeting, and I haven't heard back, but I'll follow up.
Well, that'd be great, if you can, let me know.
More about geese than I ever went.
Yeah, if I could join that, I'd appreciate it,
I'll
okay?
ping her too.
Uh,
I'm
because-
forgetting her name right now. but-
Because, as a former scientist, lots of people come up with ideas, but if the results don't come through, then that idea is kind of worthless.
No, you have a good point, Bob.
And I want to know how well Greenwich is doing on this.
It looks like it's doing pretty good, they have three parts, stabilizing.
I don't know.
Just because they have a procedure to, huh?
As far as I know, they did only non-lethal methods.
Yes, that's, because we want to know what the results are with addling and
Yeah.
modified roundups of whatever type, corrals or nets. If they just net them or something, they don't need. So, yeah, and I think before we call any special meeting for this, we should get some of these experts and some of these results, so we can at least make a presentation to the community about this. When I saw the thing about Bristol and saw it on the news, I just knew
Understood, Bob.
this is gonna be even worse than Old Lyme, in my opinion.
Understood.
And does it have to be a special meeting, or can it just be a
It could be the next meeting.
special meeting.
It all depends on, I would
You know,
like to
so we
get
could
some
do it
sort of
soon.
education involved in this, of places that, with the USDA people, you know, that can say, okay, we can legally do this because we got permission, that's fine for everybody to hear. But how well is it working? Okay, so well, let's see if we can get some of that stuff, and then if we can do that either special meeting or the next meeting, then we can invite
You
the
know, if we
public.
even have our own meeting, and a special meeting, that's all we talk about, and nobody shows up, then
Yeah.
we made an effort. I mean,
That's what I think that they were saying, like,
Yeah,
open it up
so
and.
I agree.
you know, and that's the only thing on the agenda, is just a discussion of, and if somebody comes, they come, if they,
Okay,
Yes, maybe.
okay, so Sarah, you're gonna see if you could get a little bit more, and we're gonna I'll look up Greenwich to see if they have results on this. They may be trying other techniques. If they haven't tried them already, they're just trying them. We tried just about all the techniques outside of putting the cardboard, coyotes or whatever, pictures of coyotes. Yeah, it keeps them away until they realize and they move them. I know up in Newport they tried that and it doesn't work.
We see a lot of dogs in the park for a while, and we see if that works, but just different dogs and different people, and that might help.
Try what, Martha?
Dogs in the park.
A lot
Cool.
of dogs in the park, regular people's dogs, that on leash.
As long as you get them to clean up the dog poop, that would be.
Back to an adult softball game we had where there was no outfield.
So what happened with?
Yeah, dog poop in the outfield in a softball.
Oh, there's dog poop. I know. Oh, yeah, and I think goose poop, even though it's bad, it's not quite as large as dog poop.
But the thing is, I think you allow dogs, to Martha's point, you allow dogs in the park, yeah, you're gonna find an occasional dog poop, but not like geese poop. You know, the majority of people are gonna do the right thing and pick up their dog, you know, like.
I think for the most part, when just people are around, the geese leave, okay? I'll notice geese down at Haynes Park.
They don't leave at Cross Lane when people are around.
They don't leave?
Bye, Martha, thank you.
All right, thanks for coming. Okay,
I mean, I'm all in favor of the route that I think we have to do. But, I think as long as we.
and I think if we could get,
We're gonna be okay.
I think if we get a couple, quote, experts here to
Yeah.
talk about it, that would be helpful, rather than just us talking about it.
Sure.
I just want to say, I want to thank Sarah for all of this work that she is shouldering.
Yeah.
Sarah, thank you. I mean that. Jeez, good job.
Yeah.
You know all this stuff inside and out, so thank you for what you do.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and Don, we're gonna put $7,500 in the budget.
I'll ask for
I
it.
won't get the budget stuff until next October, but I will put it in there.
Oh, no, can we put it in for this coming year?
No, it's too
Did
late.
they take it out?
They took it out.
Well, I know they took out Goose, but they still haven't voted on it yet, have they?
The Board of Finance has.
Oh, so they wouldn't allow an amendment to that?
I can ask Martha tomorrow, but.
Yes,
I mean,
I
isn't the
would.
vote on
I would.
Tuesday? I feel like, I don't know if.
I would. It's so much less than what we wanted before. I would ask her and see if we can put it in, because
The selectmen approved it, the Board of Finance approved it, and the vote is, I believe, Tuesday from this town.
oh,
It is.
okay. Well,
All right.
I guess, all right, let's.
So do we want to summarize in a few words, what are we?
So, to summarize, we would like to see if we can educate the community a little bit at either a special meeting or the next regular meeting, correct? That we would like to do something to mitigate this, and we have not tried this. So if we could get a couple experts to make a presentation about how it works, that would be helpful, and we make it a agenda item either at special meeting or the next meeting.
I don't think we want to wait to our next meeting, do we?
We can have a special meeting if we get a person or two to comment on this.
Ask Sarah to do a lot of things before a special meeting that's a week away or whatever we're
And
talking.
she's traveling.
Yeah, and so I'd say from what I'm hearing.
We do it at our next meeting, but that doesn't mess up the time frame for when they have to.
Yeah, but don't.
And if Roger Lake Authority people are doing it on their own at Rogers Lake, on these islands that are privately owned places can do whatever they want, that they can go ahead with that. But I think
I think they are, but can we addle the eggs? We have to have a,
They do have a permit.
but what about our park?
Oh, like this park and rec?
Yeah, if we see,
No.
if we see nets and.
No.
No.
That cannot be done.
It's not like you submit, it's a
Gotta
really
get my
easy form.
job.
You actually just
Gotta
submit
get
the
my
form and then
job.
you have a follow-up form you submit.
It's not gonna take like
So
6 months.
It's basically like,
It'll be probably answered quickly.
well, that was my concern. I'm all for
yeah.
consensus. I just don't want, as Brian said, paralysis by analysis. So I was hoping to
No,
get, I was
that's what
hoping to
I'm
get.
afraid of.
Your
multi-season.
momentum, you know a ton of stuff about this. What do you think is realistic for having a special meeting or waiting until our next meeting?
When is our next June, hang on.
June, whatever the first
Okay.
Thursday is.
I mean, I think a special meeting the week of the 20th would be better if we can have the research done. I mean, I'll reach out to them tomorrow, I'll call. Like I said, I'm traveling next week, but the week of the 13th, I could try to get things in place to do a meeting the week of the 20th.
I mean,
It gives us a little more time to
Okay.
get the money and then the documents signed if we're going to move forward.
I was gonna say, if we don't have the money regardless, do we need to set up a special meeting? Or, I mean, if we're just gonna kind of figure this out?
Yeah, Don.
I have a comment about the money.
Don, speak.
I don't think it's wise to try to squeeze it into the budget process this year. It'll just irritate people. But I think it's not unreasonable to, if you decide that you need something a month from now to pay for something, you can always request money.
Okay, and it's not a whole lot either.
The selectmen make decisions of $20,000 and less without even going to town meeting about stuff.
Yes, and I think I'll send a note to Martha tonight saying, can we just preemptively get an appropriation of $5,000? Because if we don't use it, can't we save it?
I remember when we spoke with Zach Smith at the park, she said that probably would not be a problem if we needed $2,500 or $5,000. She would ask for it.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think the number's small enough that, as Don said, we could probably just ask for it.
I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't be cooperative to allow the issuing of that amount of money to do something that you want to go forward with.
Right. So I think the money's not the issue here. The issue is
Did you feel?
educating the public, huh?
Our leaders, that they are in support of it?
Excuse me?
Does anyone feel that our leaders are in support of it?
I know
I wasn't
Martha
getting
is.
any vibes.
I know Martha is in support of this, and I'm pretty sure we could convince the others, because I've been providing them with information as we're going along, and I'm getting some thank yous. I don't know if that means just being polite, but
So I think we're gonna move ahead, and then if they put the kibosh on it, I don't know what happens then, myself.
as Brendan said, according to 20-8, they probably can't do it, but that didn't apply with the boathouse business, which we tried to get involved with, to have more jurisdiction on what
I
happened.
guess I just wish I had I just wish I knew they were for it.
Why don't we invite them to the special meeting and ask them to say if they're for it or against it, and that can be part of our decision on whether.
That
to
would be part of the
support it or not.
presentation.
I have a question. Do we need to have a meeting? I don't know the answer to this. So do we need to have a meeting, or can we literally send them an email correspondence asking if they're for or against? So then we can move on and have do we need to wait to have a meeting to ask them? Can't we just ask them?
I'm very curious to find out, because we have this problem is also very big at Town Woods Park. So I'm very interested to find out how.
I mean, I don't want to belabor this point, but if we're asking the selectmen to grant us permission to vote on things that we have exclusive jurisdiction over, when it comes time for a next vote on something that we have exclusive jurisdiction over, they're going to insert themselves in there, good or bad.
You're totally right.
I don't think that we need them. That's just my position. Now, for support is one thing,
That's all I.
fair enough.
Oh,
But I don't, if they decide that they're not gonna show up or they don't want any part of this, we don't need them to do what I think is inherently our job to do. And I'm just want to say, I'm consistent on it. Same thing with the Little League field and Little League. This is our jurisdiction to do it. Selectmen come, go, or otherwise, I don't think it matters.
It would be nicer if they supported it, I would think. But I agree with you legally,
Yeah, we don't
and we
need
went
your
through this once before, and we lost that argument with not the current administration, the past administration. So I agree with you
I get it.
totally. In fact, we even had an attorney say exactly what you're saying, and somehow that didn't work out the last time. But I just think it would be helpful if
I don't disagree.
they support it, okay? So, all right, we're gonna get more information and see if we could get an expert or two, or if we could get some data about how, I don't think data's out there, is it? We have to find out from one of these experts, how successful is this when they've done it for
Then
years?
probably would have some information.
Yeah, he said that he does, and.
That would be great to have that information, we could just circulate it. If you get it to me, I'll give it to everybody here. If you get something from them, and I'll make sure everybody gets it, and then if we could get this in line for a special meeting, we'll have a special meeting.
When do we have to make that decision?
You have to make a decision about a special meeting at least 2 days in advance.
No, all right, okay.
2 weeks from tonight, a decent date to,
Huh?
And once you make the agenda, you can't vote on anything else.
There would just be that,
Yeah, you can't talk about anything that's not on the agenda.
yeah.
No,
But-
too soon, 3 weeks from tonight, I think.
I mean, Sarah, do you think that we need a special meeting, or just our regular meeting is sufficient?
we might as well just wait till the next one.
My only concern is the timing, just because I need to ask the molt season. I thought it was mid to late June, but I just want to check that. So I just don't want to miss a window.
Understood.
If we're going to act on it.
Okay.
If it's-
But I can get you guys.
If
let you
it's
guys
June,
know.
we could probably just have it at a regular meeting.
Well, there's still two.
Are they, and it'd be good to find out from the Rogers Lake guys or whoever's doing it now at some of the private properties there, if there are nests around. But I have a feeling there are nests, because I see 2 new geese at the end of one of our streets that haven't been there.
Bob, before you know it.
And 2 usually means a male and a female.
I have another quick question, and I know we've talked about this. If we spend the money, like the money we want to spend
Yeah.
on this whole, and it includes town work, do we have to, is line? Okay,
Everything that goes on at Town West Park, they kick in a percentage.
we don't even have to get there, like, to spend that money. Great.
They 25%.
Okay.
They,
All right.
basically, and operating is what, 20% or something, right?
Whatever, when I get a bill, I code it for the Town West Park thing, and that gets collected by the finance department. At the end of the month, they take all that information and take 25%.
Okay, all right, okay, so we'll do that and get back to everybody, and we'll decide either for a special meeting the week before our next meeting or at the next meeting.
2 weeks before.
2 weeks before the 23rd.
The 23rd would be 2 weeks before our next meeting, so
Oh,
Is that
There's
the
like
day
an
we're
extra
shooting
week.
for, if we do it this way?
if we did it 3 weeks from tonight, which Sarah thinks is an appropriate amount of time for herself and,
The molting.
then 3 weeks from tonight would be the 23rd. It would still be 2 weeks prior to our next meeting, which would be June 6th.
okay,
So that's like a tentative.
Let's go for it.
Why don't we just
okay.
tentatively plan for that?
All right, the consensus is let's get the information, see if we get the experts, and if we go for a special meeting, we're shooting for,
June 20th,
the-
May 23rd.
okay. All right.
I've just been at the zoo all day, so I'll really be feeling.
Oh, geez.
It's a fun field trip. I'm jealous. We're going to the seaport that day, so.
Okay, any other town enhancements that Haynes wants to talk about?
I think that should all be waited until.
Okay, next one, fees for out-of-town groups for park usage. Winnie, Winnie, you're gonna get some information on what East Lyme was charging, $100 or something for an hour?
Sarah, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Say,
I sent in some information about Bride Brook that I just had reached out to them and forwarded that to the group.
Thanks,
I
Ryan.
have that, but I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
Right now.
I really inspected that.
Now, let me ask the next question. How many out-of-town groups have now asked for use of our parks?
Shoreline Sting, Crush Baseball, 2 teams from the Sting, I guess it is. So it's three groups of people are looking to use Downwards Park right now.
Okay. And,
They have O-line kids on the, it's not just what other people are charging for fees, like there's more to it like that, about how many kids are on the roster, how many, all that stuff. Are they
Right.
practicing other places? If they're practicing other places, then
but that's helpful.
similar to like lacrosse, we
Yeah.
won't be charging them.
Yeah, that's helpful if it's not just our facilities they're using. If they have some people from Old Saybrook or somewhere else, that they're chipping in on fields. It's a lot easier to grant them permission.
Well, Don, in your opinion, Wendy's opinion, is it only fair, I mean, not that we have the time there, but you, other, like lacrosse plays there, say, that kids from all over. Does that mean we really would have to be fair for any other group that asked if there was available time, but, and do the same thing with how we want other towns to chip in?
I think it'd be hard for us to say no to some group who wanted to use it.
That's what I'm afraid of.
You know, I don't think we're allowed to because it was state money that built it. But we have the right to refuse non-residents if our schedules are full,
Right, because it all depends. We have,
and they're pretty full.
How much of a burden is it to deal with the scheduling? Especially, because I'm thinking baseball season, like, Little League.
Well, I don't, the way I do it, I don't specifically schedule anything for the soccer club or lacrosse club or Little League.
I'm thinking more like the baseball.
I ask them to give me the stuff. And then we fill in the blanks, so to speak. You know, I don't, and then like, now in the springtime when lacrosse has primary use on the field, the soccer club looks at their schedule and they find the spaces. They don't just give me a thing, I gotta go through everything.
So is the
I
same
set it
thing
up so
happening?
they have to do their own schedule.
So the same thing's happening for Sting and Crush. They have to somehow look at the Little League schedule? Is
Right,
that-
they've been after me for quite a while to get time, and I've been asking for about 2.5 weeks now for Little League schedules, and I got some information this afternoon.
But these teams don't,
So I told them all, I said, they can't give you anything until we figure out what,
right.
Practice there.
They're the lowest on the total poll as far as getting time in any of these places based on,
yeah, of course.
yeah. But if there's opening, and
It seems like it would be very minimal time. I mean, we can't even get practice. Like, I feel like the majors are having a hard time getting practice time at Cross Lane, well, at Cross Lane, but,
Across lane, I don't do anything about.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I wonder about rainouts and stuff, like,
Yeah, that screws it all up.
yeah.
okay.
I feel like we should just buy that land that they cleared right by Cross Lane and put another field in there.
Go ahead.
It would be perfect. It's all cleared for
Are you
us.
going to be the head of the
You could dig a tunnel
the
underneath the
fundraising
tracks,
committee?
you could go to one field to the other.
I will.
Yeah? Okay.
we still aren't answering the question, which is,
Huh?
have we come to any ideas with this?
I think a whole policy's gotta be written, not just ideas.
Well, we have a policy for soccer. All we would do is add to the policy we have that these out-of-town groups, we'd have one sentence, can be used at the discretion of the Parks and Rec Department based on availability of the fields, right?
But then, to me, somebody's gonna say, well, you favor them because they're,
Well, of course.
I don't
I
think,
mean-
or is there a way
I
to say,
mean,
we already have...
paying for the fields?
Well,
I
we
mean,
already have so many, well, no, but say a team from New London and Groton comes over. They're not gonna, they could literally use it even if they didn't have any old line kids by the rules of taking money to build the field. Right?
yes, and it would be better, as Don said,
They've used our gyms too.
Exactly.
and they
So-
get charged. The out-of-town people get
But
charged.
we set a limit on how many teams we allow for each season to use the park. Like, there's only 2 open spots for anyone that isn't an old unsponsored team. And I don't know.
Here's what the director of East Line Park and Rec told me about Brybrook. We charge an hourly fee of $55 or a max daily fee of $440 for rental of our fields. We do allow premier clubs to use our fields, but they are lowest on our priority list. We give a majority of the time to our in-town leagues, which are exempt organizations that don't have to pay, who we allow to use the fields without charge.
So what if they have East Lyme residents on
the
their
roster.
team?
I think they would charge them. Based on what I'm understanding, because I know like Southeast Soccer was playing games there because New London High turf field got torn up. I'm pretty sure they were getting charged.
So like a
And there's definitely some kids on those
AAU
teams.
softball or baseball team is matter if half the kids are from residents,
I can follow up about that. I don't know that they look at
because they're an
the
outside
makeup of the
organization.
team. It's an outside, yeah.
Makes it easier.
That's the easiest way to do it, I think. I think that's the easiest way to do
Bring
it.
this to the group before following up with any questions like that, but I'm happy to. They
I like
responded
that
within a
rule.
day.
If you're an outside organization, you
Yeah,
pay.
yeah, period. I don't care how many old Lyme kids
Makes
are
it
on.
easy.
I mean, if it's all old Lyme kids, they would get a priority over a team that doesn't have
only have so
old
many
Lyme
teams.
kids.
So what do you do with lacrosse?
Well,
Right.
is lacrosse an outside organization? Didn't John say that it's an old Lyme organization when he started it?
Because originally,
John and his brother started that, right?
Well, yeah, they used to be
And Howard
Ticks.
Fish.
They were Lyme and old Lyme kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Howard,
And they
the
expanded
three
to
of
the
them.
other towns, so it became Connecticut River Lacrosse Club.
Okay.
Now, we don't charge
I
them.
don't know.
That's an outside organization, even though some of the people on the Ticks board will tell you it's based out of Old Lyme.
Wow. That's it. So I make a team and I do my nonprofit and I put Old Lyme as an address.
Right. So what I'm getting at
Old
is,
Lyme. I mean,
right.
Point 10.
What I'm getting at is, and Wendy just talked to me about it here, we don't charge somebody like the Ticks because of, they reciprocate supposedly with other fields.
yeah.
So if we charge, say, the Sting or Crush or whomever,
Right. Changes
if
everything.
you ask me, then you gotta start charging the Ticks.
Oh, exactly. And then it becomes, you're like the athletic director of all the people that want to use. I mean, it's too much. I don't know, I just think it's,
Well, we already got, with the Valley people, we had somebody that's an attorney in New London, want to know, did we get steep money for that? And of course we did, and so they were going to argue that we cannot charge the out-of-town people at all about that. And we said to them, we were hoping that they would reciprocate with fields, which they did when my kids were playing.
we have nothing.
But it doesn't seem like they're doing it now. I don't have an answer. I don't have a solution, but it's almost like if it's an out-of-town organization not sponsored by the old Lyme Park and Rec, should we be charging anybody that's not associated with Old Lyme Park and Rec or the Old Lyme Little League? That's Old Lyme Little League, right? But they've been grandfathered in, kind of.
It's Old Lyme Little League, but I don't think they use any fields in Lyme anywhere.
No, they don't want to break their legs.
They used to when my
They
kids,
used to.
yeah,
They used to,
when
but they
my
don't.
kids, they don't now, but they used to. I remember
Haven't for
going up
years.
to Lyme with my kids.
The information you guys think is pretty interesting, because that would discourage.
I know, but then we have to go
But-
back to it's steep grant and we're not allowed to do
Right.
that. So I feel like it's off the table. If we're not allowed to do that, we're not allowed to do it. Why, am I missing something? Like, if the
Right.
stipulations of the steep grant said we're not allowed to charge out-of-town people to use our fields.
No, it doesn't say that specifically. It says out-of-town people should be allowed to use the fields. But they know that there's a priority system, I believe. I'll have to check way back 20 years ago, or whenever we signed that thing, 21 years ago.
I mean, so does this only apply to Cross Lane? Specifically the Little League field?
That wouldn't apply to Cross Lane,
Well,
unless Don thinks way back when.
I think
there
way
was
back
state-
when.
Back when it did, it was,
State
they got money, yeah.
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 I don't know if it was called a steep grant or not, but they
I
got
don't know what
some
it's called.
state funding.
Brybrook got no, they,
I'm sure they did.
on their own?
I'm sure they did.
They did, I don't know, who knows?
That'd be a good question to ask, if Brybrook ever got state money for Brybrook. Because if they did, the chances are they have to accept people if there's space, room in the schedule.
Without charging?
That's what I would ask them, because they're already charging.
They are charging.
I mean, like if Missy started a team tomorrow, like you were saying, and you're running the team. To me, if it's Missy's team and but they do charge these kids. Most of these kids pay a lot of money to be on these teams. I don't know. I know what my grandchildren pay, and it makes me like sick to my stomach. Thousands of dollars to be on these teams. And I just wonder, to me, Missy as a taxpayer and a good member of the community, or Tim or whoever, I would think you'd have every right to ask to use the team, the fields. Because you know that most of the kids would be probably on it that were from Old Lyme, but I don't know how we would.
Time for true, out of time.
Yeah.
It would be better.
Well, you have to, but you are also charging people, aren't you? Like these, aren't
They're-
they paying good money?
I believe that they're, like, say, Shoreline Sting, charge money to play out of season.
See, if you had to say them, but we do have to charge for the field use.
Yes, because we
I
pay, we
don't
pay for
see-
the field upkeep.
Like what
We
Brybrook's
just-
doing. It would discourage a lot of people from probably.
Yeah, so that's why it's a good idea to find out is there any other community to ask this of other than East Lyme around here?
Not
Westbrook
really.
or somebody, or?
When we were having all the conversations with the TICs about field usage, and weren't they like, payment is not a problem? Like, I feel like the majority of people don't care about paying.
They don't.
We just don't ask for it, so they don't do it. But it's not that they care about paying, it's that there's nowhere else to go, so they need the place. I mean, I remember the TICs being like, if money is the issue, we will pay, we'll pay. And then we decided not to charge them, but I do feel like,
Well, it is wear and tear on the fields. Didn't we say they pay for lines?
Right, I don't think that, they were willing to pay because it was a nice facility and it was all the reasons they had.
yeah.
But what we were charging them wouldn't offset, I don't think, the wear and tear.
Right.
You know, I don't know what that figure is, but I don't think it would come
Well,
close.
part of our-
And I think
Our charge is to protect the taxpayers.
Right.
Yeah, because if they paid, they might say, all right, we're doing everything.
Yeah, that's what they would have done.
Yeah.
It's easy to write a check to somebody.
No, they could also say, whatever, you could also say you get field 1 and field 2, because whatever's been happening the past 2 springs has been very nice.
Working.
Working, thankfully. So it's not like they would.
We got them in the same room and
entire park.
said,
Yeah,
let's figure this out.
Right.
We're tired of it.
no, it was
You
good.
remember, like, at
Last year
the
we
final minute, right? It wasn't it like,
Right, oh, we thought
we
they
were
were
all
coming.
nervous? Yeah, it was like a big thing, and then all of a sudden it was like,
Thank God, Don.
no, we're all good, and everyone's texting each other, and
Okay, so we're gonna continue to look at that. Winnie, Ryan, or two,
Yep.
you wanna point people on
I
that?
will continue to ask questions.
Okay.
I can't write a policy. I'm not-
No, but I think we better be careful, Brendan, what do you think legally, if we charge people that have out-of-town people, and maybe they even have some old Lyme people playing with one of these organizations, what do we do with the lacrosse people from Valley that aren't providing fields anymore? They used to.
Many years ago.
Huh? Well, what?
Many years ago.
Well, my kids, I remember my kids playing up there all the time. But my
But
kids
that's a
are,
while
my kids are now 35 and 32.
So many years ago.
Okay, all right, so the next thing, any new business? Don, I got a call from Mike McGee at 4:00 this afternoon. Apparently, he was down there attaching the safe kayak launch, and you happened to see him? And you were down there with
I
him?
went down there because he told me he was going there.
Yeah, and then the rowing people disconnected that, he told me. It's now all laying on the sand.
Really?
Yeah. Can you call Chris?
Chris sent me a message brought about the game, and
Yeah.
he didn't say they did that, but I'm calling him tomorrow at 9:00.
Okay, good. Talk to him about
I
that.
didn't know
because-
that they did that.
Yep, Mike called me up and told me, and I said, I'll discuss it with you later tonight, and, I don't know why they did
Pretty
that.
gutsy.
Huh?
That's pretty gutsy.
Hey, you know, it's nothing new.
So, Don, you're gonna talk to the president of the rowing.
Right.
Tomorrow morning, 9:00.
Right, that would be good, because we had this all worked out, and I don't know why. I told Mike, don't worry, we'll work it out. Okay, any other new business? No? Okay, I think everybody, there was no correspondence. Public comment, we had some comments from Martha before, who was here, and has now left. No one here, public comment. Anybody in telephone land for public comment? Hearing none, can I hear for a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, no discussion, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, anyone opposed? No, abstain? Okay, we're done, and it's, what time is it? It's
7:30.
7:30.